Today's guest is none other than the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, who will be defending his title against the Beast Brock Lesnar at WWE Battleground. How are you doing today, Seth?
I'm doing all right, man, all things considered. How are you?
Great, doing great. You've had so many big matches in such a small amount of time on the WWE main roster. And it seems kind of crazy to ask this, but you are going against Brock Lesnar, who's a beast. He's a future Hall of Famer. You're the champion and an underdog. So is this the biggest match of your career to this point?
I feel like I've had a lot of biggest matches of my career up until this point. I would say this one is certainly special. I mean, there's not a lot of guys who get the opportunity to go one-on-one with Brock Lesnar at this point in his career. So to be one of those guys to main event a pay-per-view with Brock Lesnar over a very prestigious title, I think is it all adds up to being certainly one of, if not the biggest. I'll leave that up to you and the other media pundits to decide what is the biggest match in my career, but it certainly ranks up there with the very, very biggest of my career.
Now, you've been on the main roster for just over 2 years. You're already WWE World Heavyweight Champion. You've technically main evented a WrestleMania. I mean, these are goals that are long-term goals for most wrestlers, but you've already done them. Do you have any goals left?
I mean, win more titles, hold on to this one as long as I can, main event more WrestleManias. At this point, I'm just creating a legacy and hopefully giving back to the business that I love more than anything. So for me, it's always about what's next, how do I get better, how do I do something that's never been done. I think there's always stuff to do. There's always new goals, and once you stop having goals and things to accomplish, it's probably time to start looking at something else.
You talk about winning more titles and how prestigious the WWE World Heavyweight Championship is, which it definitely is. But John Cena, he's currently the United States champion. It's a competitive, exciting division with the addition of Kevin Owens and Cesaro. And I feel like that's rivaling the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So is there any pressure with you personally to compete with John and establish the WWE title as the dominant title in the company?
To establish the title as the most dominant title in the company, absolutely not. It is that, no matter what, no matter who's wearing what other title, this is the big boy. This is the one that everybody wants. And if John tells you any different, he's a liar. At the bottom line, though, is that I'm always competing with John Cena. John's a guy who set the bar extremely high for the past, 10, 12, 15 years. He's a guy who not only in the ring but outside of the ring is an example of what a WWE superstar should be, and he had put in the work over that period of time to prove that, and that's definitely something I strive to be as well. I strive to have that work ethic and instill that in the people around me the way John has over the past, decade and a half. So I'm always competing with John Cena in my mind, but my title is the title, and there's definitely no doubt about that.
You talked about the people around you making them better. You definitely had people around you when you debuted with the Shield, but I feel like WWE continues to mention the fact that you used to be with the Shield, that you turned on the Shield, that you had ties to that group. Do you ever get tired of hearing about the constant references of your ties to the Shield on WWE programming?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm pretty proud of the Shield. We accomplished a lot in a very short period of time. You mentioned that I've done that on my own as well, but we did it together, and I've been a huge part in that, putting that whole thing together and making sure that was successful. And so I look at all those successes, including being the one to break all the, fangirls' hearts of the world by destroying the Shield, as a major success. And if you look at where all three of us have sort of fallen and where our careers have taken us since then, I would say that those guys owe me a debt of gratitude. They may have not liked the way it went down, but it certainly helped catapult all of our careers into superstardom. So at the end of the day, it certainly worked out for the better. And, I like I said, I look at it as an accomplishment, not as an insult when people bring it up.
Seth, did you have fun? Did you have more fun being with the Shield, being with your brothers, and being on the road with those guys? Or do you find it more fun, living up to the pressures of being this world champion at the top of the company by yourself?
This is what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be the man, not one of the, top guys. I wanted to be the only one that everybody looked at. So this is definitely where my heart lies. I had a great time, with the Shield. We had a good run. But definitely the last year of my career has been undoubtedly the best time of my life for sure.
Well, now it looks like you're going it alone for your match against Brock Lesnar. No J&J security, no Kane. We really haven't seen you on your own exclusively as a WWE superstar. You've either had the Shield or the Authority. So is this something we're going to see moving forward, or are you going to get more reinforcements?
Well, J&J security are both on the shelf with injuries thanks to Brock Lesnar. As you saw on Monday, Kane is now, I don't know where Kane is, but he's not anywhere to be seen. I'm fine with that. I think it's okay the way it is, and I put on some pretty impressive performances on my own without the other people, whether it be the Shield or whether it be Kane and J&J or anybody else in the Authority. I pretty much, people like to say that I've gotten a lot of help, and that's true. I have. I've gotten a lot of help along the way, but not everybody can do what I do. And not everybody can compete on the level I compete on. And I think that anyone who looks at me as an underdog going into this title match, Brock Lesnar on Sunday, is a little bit out of their mind. I'm younger than Brock Lesnar. I'm faster than Brock Lesnar. I've had less injuries than Brock Lesnar. And now he may work a lighter schedule than I do. But at the end of the day, I'm the champion for a reason. I outsmarted Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and I don't see any reason why I'm not going to be able to beat him on Sunday at Battleground.
You talked about underdogs. There's a lot of underdogs in WWE Tuff Enuf, hopefuls who are looking to get to the top of the company. You recently appeared on an episode of Tuff Enuf. Did anybody stand out to you among that crop of talent?
Not one person stood out to me.
Not one?
Not a single one. Nope, not one. I went down there and I tried to help them out and give them a few pointers here and there and let them know what it's going to take to be a star. But let me tell you, those kids got it easy. They don't know anything about anything when it comes to putting in the time. They think they're going to get through this little 3-month course and they're going to, be WWE superstars and they're going to be famous and rich and travel the world. And that's not how it works. It's a whole lot of hard work, and I think that they're going to figure that out along the way, or they're going to fall by the wayside. So for me, I didn't see a whole lot. Maybe as they move along in the process, they'll show more personality and a little more guts. But for now, I'm not holding my breath.
Do you think there's going to be problems between them and the existing WWE and even NXT superstars when they just walk into WWE with a $250,000 contract?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. That Tuff Enuf is phenomenal. It's great. Don't get me wrong. It pushes WWE out into the masses, and everyone can see it. It's visible, and they get an inside look at kind of what it's like to be a WWE superstar. But at the same time, you got to understand that that's not all that it takes. You don't just get to be on a reality game show and all of a sudden you're a top star in 12 weeks. They're going to have to put in a lot of time, a lot of hard work. They're going to have to sacrifice a lot of relationships. They're going to be injured often. It's going to take a toll on them physically and emotionally that they're not prepared for. And I think that it'll be very interesting to see who comes out of Tuff Enuf, who really is tough enough, I guess, when you look at it, who's going to come out of there alive and who's going to make a success out of themselves.
Right, and the grind of professional wrestling is definitely an integral part of it. To train for that brutal schedule, you have been very vocal about your CrossFit training and how it prepares you. Now, I want to bring something to your attention. Former WWE superstar John Morrison, he also has unique training regimens, and he recently said, and I quote, that he would destroy Seth Rollins in everything. How would you respond to that?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means to destroy me in everything. Does that entail
I think he's talking CrossFit. I think he's talking wrestling. I think he's talking that plyometric stuff that he does, parkour.
But if I'm not mistaken, I believe John Morrison is a 0-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Mind you, 0, as in never once did he win the big one. And I'm, not even 3 years into my WWE career, and I've already won Money in the Bank, won the WWE title at WrestleMania, first ever NXT champion. So, there's a lot of things that I've already destroyed John Morrison at, and that John Morrison thinks that he can take me in any of those endeavors. I would love for John Morrison to step up and say something like that to my face.
He is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, very confident. Going into a match against Brock Lesnar, more confident than I think anybody would be, and I wish you the best of luck. Thanks, Seth.
Thank you.
Last October, I said John Cena was the most generous WWE top star of all time, and some of you politely and eloquently disagreed with me. But fast forward to Elimination Chamber, where he lost to a developmental champion in his first WWE match, and I'm happy to report I'm right.